Karma just did the unthinkable, live, under the blinding lights of national television. After months of dodging criticism, brushing off a petition signed by over 3 million furious citizens, and suffering a catastrophic defeat in the 2025 local elections, the pressure finally burst the dam. There he stood, Keir Starmer, the Labour leader who once promised he'd ride out the storm come hell or high water, now visibly shaken, his voice cracking as he called for a snap general election. This wasn't a backroom leak or a spin-doctored press release. This was raw. This was real. This was the political equivalent of watching the Titanic hit the iceberg in 4K. Starmer, the man who once vowed to serve his full term no matter what, had just raised the white flag. Not out of grace or humility, but because the damning weight of public fury and his party's implosion gave him no other choice. For months, he had dismissed the growing unrest as background noise. A few angry tweets here, a protest or two there. He waved off the petition demanding his resignation like it was a prank pulled by political misfits. But the numbers told a brutal truth. Labour wasn't just wobbling. It was collapsing, cratering, imploding from the inside out. Reform UK, once written off as a fringe distraction, was suddenly making historic gains, charging through Labour's old strongholds like a bulldozer through a sandcastle. It all started with one question. One simple question. Asked during a heated interview, a journalist looked Starmer dead in the eyes and said, Asterisk, will you resign if you can't stop this backlash? Asterisk, his answer, yes, seemed like political theater at the time. A line for the cameras. A bluff. Nobody expected him to actually follow through. But reality didn't wait. It crashed through his front door. That interview was the spark. What followed was an electoral inferno. Labour's loss in the 2025 local elections wasn't just bad, it was annihilation. Councils that had been safe for generations turned red, not with Labour pride, but with warning lights. Reform UK dominated in working-class communities Labour used to count on like clockwork. Starmer's steady hands suddenly looked like limp wrists when he stepped up to the podium to announce the election. It wasn't a moment of leadership, it was a political SOS. The ship was sinking, and he was finally reaching for the life raft. The message was clear, asterisk, I can't fix this. Maybe someone else can. Asterisk, behind the scenes, Labour was eating itself alive. The party that once swaggered into the year with Downing Street dreams was now crawling toward electoral judgment day. Insiders who once toasted to a sure win were suddenly whispering about rebellion, resignations, and full-blown collapse. The petition that set all this in motion wasn't the work of political rivals or media barons. It came from regular Brits, angry, fed-up citizens who were tired of being ignored. It spread like wildfire across social media. 1 million signatures. Then 2. Then 3. The momentum was unstoppable. Parliament had no choice but to take notice. MPs' inboxes flooded with rage. Letters, emails, threats of electoral revenge. Starmer stayed quiet. Too quiet. When he finally did speak, claiming he had listened, the public's response was deafening. Too late, mate. Reform UK pounced, calling it a victory for democracy. The Conservatives, smelling blood, branded it cowardice. Online, disbelief curdled into fury. Labour's base had had enough. The people who once wore the red rose with pride now wore frowns and grimaces. They walked away, and this time, they may not come back. Starmer's fall wasn't sudden. It was slow, agonizing, and entirely self-inflicted. He came into power with big promises. Tax the rich, defend the NHS, abolish tuition fees, undo austerity. But one by one, those promises were quietly shelved, watered down, or dropped altogether. Public ownership? Too expensive. Tax the wealthy? Let's not be ideological. Tuition fees? Now's not the time. He morphed from visionary reformer into spreadsheet centrist, losing the people Labour was supposed to fight for. And now, Britain stands at a crossroads. The coming general election is shaping up to be the most unpredictable in decades. Campaigns are being rushed. Alliances are shifting. Pollsters are sweating. The political earth is cracking beneath Westminster's feet. Can Starmer weather the storm he helped brew? At this point, it's looking grim. His credibility is shot. His party is fractured. The electorate is angry and energized, just not for him. And if you've made it this far, here's something else to consider. Over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed. Wild, right? We get it, life's hectic. But subscribing is totally free, and it helps us keep creating the kind of bold, unfiltered content that dives deep into the stories the mainstream won't touch. So go ahead, tap that subscribe button. It takes a second, but it means the world to us. Thanks for watching. And buckle up, British politics is about to get wild.